Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to figure out what corporate filings are really trying to tell us. And oh boy, do we have something interesting today. We're diving into an 8K filing from Ampco-Pittsburgh Corporation, and it looks like there is some big management shakeups happening. So, what is an 8K filing, you ask? It's basically a report that companies have to file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, to announce major events that shareholders should know about. Think of it like breaking news for publicly traded companies. If you like getting straight to the point with your corporate insights, make sure you're subscribed. And we've got a growing community over on Discord linked in the description below, where we chop up these filings even more. Now, the real story here starts in item 5.02. This is where companies talk about changes in their top brass, like CEOs, CFOs, or directors. And it looks like Ampco-Pittsburgh is seeing a significant shift in its financial leadership. On the 5th of November 2025, Michael G. McCauley, who's been serving as the Senior Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, Treasurer, and Assistant Secretary, let the company know he plans to step down. His last day in these roles will be the 31st of December, 2025. That's a pretty big role to leave. But it's not a complete goodbye. Mr. McCauley isn't just walking away. He's going to stick around for a bit longer, starting the 1st of January, 2026. He'll be taking on a new role as a strategic advisor to the Chief Executive Officer, and Hez set to do that until the 30th of June, 2026. This sounds like a planned transition, which is usually a good sign, allowing for knowledge to be passed on. So, who's stepping into those crucial finance shoes? It's David G. Anderson. Hez currently the president of Air and Liquid Systems Corporation, which is a subsidiary of Ampco-Pittsburgh. The board of directors has tapped him to take over the roles of vice president, chief financial officer, treasurer, and assistant secretary starting on the 1st of January 2026. He'll also keep his current job as the president of Air and Liquid Systems, which means he'll be juggling quite a bit. Now, one thing to keep an eye on is compensation. The filing mentions that the details of how much Mr. McCauley and Mr. Anderson will be paid for their roles during this transition period will be shared once everything is finalized and approved. This is pretty standard, but it's always worth noting when new compensation packages are put in place for key executives. Moving on, item 7.01 is about Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. This rule basically says that companies have to share important information with everyone at the same time, so no one gets an unfair advantage. In this section, they're revealing that on the 7th of November 2025, they put out a press release to announce these leadership changes. This press release is officially part of this filing, so it's considered public information. Now, every filing like this has a section called Forward-Looking Statements. This is super important because it's basically a disclaimer. Companies use it to tell you that when they talk about future plans, expectations, or potential outcomes, these are just predictions. They aren't guarantees. Essentially, any statement that talks about what might happen in the future, using words like may, will, expect, or anticipate, is considered a forward-looking statement. They're telling investors to be cautious and not take these predictions as absolute facts. This filing then goes into a lengthy list of potential risks and uncertainties. They're talking about a whole lot of things that could go wrong. This includes things like not having enough cash to run the business, economic downturns, too much competition in the steel industry, problems with their operations, and even potential lawsuits related to past product use like asbestos. They also mention risks around getting enough money for future investments, equipment failures, rising prices for materials like commodities, electricity, and natural gas, and even cyber attacks. On top of that, they're worried about currency fluctuations, changes in government rules, pandemics, geopolitical conflicts, and labor disputes. It's a comprehensive list of potential challenges they face. The fact that they're so upfront about these many risks suggests they are either being very thorough or they genuinely see a lot of potential headwinds. For us as investors, this is a great opportunity to see what keeps management up at night. Finally, we get to item 9.01, which lists any financial statements and exhibits that are being filed with this report. Here, they list the press release announcing Mr. McCauley's departure and Mr. Anderson's appointment as Exhibit 99.1. This is often where you find the actual text of the announcement. And Exhibit 104 is the cover page interactive data file, which is basically machine-readable data on the company. So let's break this down. Ampco-Pittsburgh is seeing a change at the very top of its finance department, Michael McCauley. The CFO is stepping down at the end of the year, but will stay on in an advisory role. David Anderson, who leads one of their subsidiary companies, will take over the CFO role. This transition seems planned and aims to ensure continuity. The company is also being very transparent about a wide range of risks, from economic challenges to operational issues. They are essentially laying out a roadmap of potential pitfalls for investors to be aware of. Now, looking at the overall picture, we don't have specific financial numbers in this particular filing, which is common for an 8K focused on executive changes. However, the information about leadership transitions and the detailed risk faders provide valuable insights. A planned succession like this can signal stability, but the incoming CFO taking on an additional leadership role might mean he'll have a lot on his plate right from the start. The comprehensive list of risks suggests management is either being incredibly cautious or facing a genuinely challenging operating environment. Investors should pay close attention to how the company plans to navigate these identified risks, especially the ones related to liquidity, debt, and industry competition. The steel industry in particular is known for its cyclical nature and sensitivity to global economic forces. Overall, Ampco-Pittsburgh is in a period of transition. The effectiveness of this new leadership team in managing the company's finances and its response to the disclosed risks will be key to its future performance. Alright, that's our breakdown of Ampco-Pittsburgh's latest filing. What's your take on these leadership changes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.